Hello friends, we are back today with a new video review of the Distant Lands series from the Adventure Time cartoon. In the previous two episodes, we talked about the first episode of the series, I Have the Title of BMO, and today we will talk about the second episode of the series, and come on with the title Obsidian, which means obsidian, and an awareness that tells about Marceline, the Vampire Queen, and Princess Bubblegum, and come on in a time after the end of the Adventure Time cartoon, that is, after the last episode. But as usual, friends, do not forget to subscribe to the channel to receive all new things, activate the bell button, and interact on previous videos in the channel. I hope that it will reach 100 likes in less than a month, my friends. But let's move on to the explanation. The episode begins, and we see that there is a kingdom on the outskirts of the land of Au, and it is the Kingdom of Glass, and that its people are holding a party for some reason, and we see that the princess of the kingdom tells the story of the origins of the Kingdom of Glass. That one day the lightning struck in the middle of the desert, and the kingdom appeared. As you know, I am heat plus sand equals sign glass, and this is an equation that explains that, since I was a science lover. Let us go back to the story, and that the Kingdom of Glass lived in peace with me until a dragon appeared on them from the depths of a hole in the volcano mountain called Molto Larvo, and he attacked the kingdom and destroyed almost everything until Marceline appeared and defeated it with a sacred song, and he returned to the cave and Marceline closed the oven door on him, and we know after him, the people of the Kingdom of Glass gather every year to sing Marceline's song to keep the dragon trapped in the furnace. And we see that there is a child named Glass Boy with a smashed head, and that everyone is making fun of him for that. And he says that the furnace in which the dragon is located is able to fix his broken face. The kids start singing. We see that the key to the oven door is hanging on the neck of the Glass Princess. At the end of that party, we see that Glass Boy has stolen the key and has gone to the oven door to fix himself. After that, we see that he has already entered the cave and descended into the volcano. And then we see Molto Larvo has woken up. Glass Boy escaped, but the key fell from him, but he managed to lock the door before Larvo came out. After that, we see that the warning sirens in the kingdom have been activated. The Glass Princess and his brothers came, and they saw what happened, so they took Glass Boy to prison. The scene takes us to Marceline, who lives with Princess Bubblegum, and Simon after his return to normal. Then we see that Glass Boy has opened the door of the cell on him, and at the door there is his doll that resembles Marceline, and he has decided to go out on a mission to search for Marceline, and that he has crossed the desert and faced a lot of trouble on his way. And we see that the brothers of the Princess of Glass scold her for releasing Glass Boy. And then we see that Larvo has spit out colored black creatures from his mouth to search for Marceline. And we see that Glass Boy has arrived in the land of Oo, and he has met Shay Goose the Duck, and asked him that he is looking for Marceline. And then he sent him to the Kingdom of Candy. And then we see him entering one of the cafes where Simon sings about Marceline, but the guards, they kicked him out of the coffee shop, so Simon went out to him, and he drove him to Marceline's house. And we see that Glass Boy broke down crying to see Marceline and told her that Larvo had returned and he had to stop him again. Marceline sang it at the time, and it is the reason why Marceline and Princess Bubblegum cut off their friendship, and then they refused to go with Glass Boy to save the Kingdom of Glass. But then we see that the creatures that Arvo spewed have entered the house of Marceline and found Simon alone, so he told them that she had already left. We see that Marceline rides her motorcycles with Princess Bubblegum and Glass Boy, and that she passed through the area where she and her mother used to live. And then we see that Marceline and Princess Bubblegum are close to arriving, and that Princess Bubblegum Moreau's bird is following them, and we will know why in the rest of the episode, and they enter the gate of the kingdom, but the guards prevented them from entering. And after that, we see that Marceline has been angry and has destroyed the tower and used her bicycles to enter the kingdom. And we see that the guards led Glass Boy to prison again, and that those creatures attacked Marceline after him, and a fight took place between them, and they surrounded Marceline. But we saw that the guitar that Marceline was with made a sound from it, and we see that those creatures are his weak point. And those creatures exploded. And then we see that the people of the Kingdom of Glass have believed that it is indeed Marceline. And we see that these creatures began to move me and return to Larvo, and that the Princess of Bubblegum feels jealous of us. The song Princess Beb asked if she didn't want to hear it again, and Princess Bubblegum agreed, and Marcy sang that song, but it was no use. And that Larvo was able to get out of the cave. And we see after him that the Princess of Bubblegum has intervened and whistled at Moreau, who was following her, and he had dropped 2 towers that made a protective barrier. We see that Marcy was angry with us. Bonnie did not trust her. That's when Marcy decided to write a new song that could stand up to Arvo, but she needed to awaken those feelings that made her write the first song. Then Marcy decided to go back to where she grew up so she could write the song. So Bee got off her bike and left Bonnie there. And then the scene moves us to a flashback when Marcy was young and lived with his mother while they were wandering in the desert, and they were heading towards a party, and on their way they came across a mutant dog, and that this dog attacked Marceline's mother and led him to kill him until Marcy got angry and sucked his soul, and his mother was terrified of what Marcy had done. And the scene brings us back to the present time that Bonnie has taken a sample of Larvo's blood and is doing an experiment with sound waves on Larvo's blood for me to understand his weakness well, and we see that the blood sample has turned into something more like the creatures he saw in the past and attacks Bonnie. But Bonnie pushes himself by launching candy from his hand, FA turned into a crystal. And we see another flashback from Bonnie Lee's memory of the reasons for the difference between Marcy and Bonnie. We know that the reason for the success of that song in the race is the strong feelings and honest. And we go back to Marcy's flashback to her mother fixing a motorcycle that broke down at a gas station, and Marcy asks him,
"Am I a scary monster?"
She asks him if I am a monster, and we see that his mother started to get sick with me, and that she started spitting blood from her mouth. So I asked him to go to me one, and she would keep fixing the bike. There's no party, and it's completely empty. And we see a red light coming out of the transmitter, and it takes us back to the present time with Bonnie. Here we have reached the end of our episode for today, and we will complete the rest of the episode in a new video. Thank you for watching and listening. Your brother Cardamon was with you, and you are safe, my friends.